What's going on, everybody? My name is Austin. Welcome to the channel, and today we've got Batman issue number 7 by Matt Fraction, where we will kind of get an answer to the question that people have always wondered: is it possible for the Joker to be cured? I won't keep you waiting. Let's get right into the video. So we start off in Arkham Towers, and we see a sign above a door that says number 10. And then we see a man walk out of that room, and as you can see, the side of his face is a little bit scarred. We then see him exit that floor and go into the stairwell, and he gets on his phone and says, "Hey, it's Josiah. Look, he wants to talk." We then see the brand new quote-unquote bat signal that Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock put in their window, because remember, Jim Gordon is no longer police commissioner, and Vandal Savage has just essentially banned the use of the bat signal. And then finally, Batman swoops in and greets them. He lands on the ground with that menacing aura he has to have for some reason, even though he's greeting two people he knows very well, and he just says, "Well?" Jim looks at him and says, "Got something for you." And Harvey says, "Just you and, look, I got a guy, trusted source, and and Bruce says, 'Say it, Bullock.' And Harvey says, 'It's him. He wants to talk.'" And then from there, we see Bruce hop in the Batmobile, and he drives to Arkham Towers to pay a visit. Inside Arkham Towers, we see him talking to Dr. Annika Zeller, who we've seen quite a bit of through this new run. And she says the average brain uses less than 500 calories a day and generates around 12 watts of electricity. His burned through 8,000 calories and could light a Christmas tree before treatment. Patient 10 has been medically immobilized and mechanically pithed. I managed the hyperbioelectric activity in his mind through the crown of storms. He's isolated in a float tank, intubated for nutrients and oxygen. Cranial implants convert his thoughts to speech and transmit external sound to him in real time. I was excited when he mentioned a desire to speak with someone outside of his care team. I didn't know he meant you. If he'd asked, I wouldn't have allowed it. And Batman says that's why he didn't ask. That's not the way his mind works. But Dr. Zeller says, "I think you'd be surprised by how his mind works if you could be bothered to learn. Follow the green tiles. The red ones administer a medically incapacitating load of electricity. And take your shoes and socks off, now." Dr. Zeller wants to see the bat feet. She continues and says, "These protocols are designed to keep everyone in room 10 safe. Us from him and him from us. If you deviate from a green tile, zap. Wall sensors extend that boundary into 3D space. Your proximity to patient 10 will be controlled at all times. Any part of you leaves the path," and Bruce interrupts and says, "Then zap." "I understand, doctor." And she says, "I'll be right here the whole time, watching and listening to everything. If I suspect, even for a moment, you mean to physically interact with my patient, my thumb comes off the kill switch." The floor discharges and room 10 turns into a total environmental vacuum. Your organs will burst. Rapid hypoxia, hypoxemia, and brain death ensue. I will not allow you to harm a patient in my care. And Bruce says, "I understand, Dr. Zeller. I'm ready." But Annika says stilling him has caused some secondary physical effects, Batman, so no, I don't think you are. And as Bruce walks into the room, he is greeted with the Joker, and he says, "Good Lord." And Dr. Zeller was right. I don't think Bruce was prepared to see the Joker in this state. And although he doesn't entirely look too much different, he doesn't really have any hair and he's kind of fat, he still looks like the Joker, and he lays eyes on Batman and says, "Hey, you." Bruce continues to walk towards the tank that Joker is in, and they don't really say anything to each other. They just kind of make eye contact. There's a very weird tension here between the two. Batman tries to take his hand out and reach towards the glass, but then he remembers he's not allowed to do that, so he puts it back. And finally he says, "Well, how did you do it, Joker?" But Dr. Zeller says, "Please refer to him as patient 10. But Batman says, "I'm not going to call him that. Someone managed to contact me from inside of your bespoke prison, Dr. Zeller. He's still the Joker." Joker glances over at the glass and then looks back at Bruce and says, "I don't want to say." Batman says, "Your perfect Joker prison is already compromised, Doctor. He has people inside Arkham Towers. Suspend and secure everyone that's had access to floor 10 and room 10. Knowing him, that will be the person he wants you to find. There will be others that you won't. We're done here." And Bruce turns to start to walk away, but Joker says, "Wait, please. I'll tell you. His name is Josiah Jones. He's an orderly. He used to be a policeman. That was when we met. And then he wasn't a policeman anymore. And we can see the Joker spraying him with some kind of chemical, so now we know the person we saw at the beginning of the issue is this guy Josiah, and we also know where he got his scars from. Joker continues and says Josiah's training as an officer and the challenges faced in his own recovery made him an ideal hire, Dr. Zeller. Please do not punish him for helping me. Maybe he came here to help others like him. Maybe this is the only place that would hire someone that looks as he does now. The world is capricious and cruel to the different. Or maybe Josiah was biding his time until I finally arrived and he'd try to kill me. I don't know. Maybe Josiah didn't know himself. Rage can do strange things to the mind, as we witnessed the first time that Josiah decided to walk in and pay Joker a visit. Joker says whatever it was that brought him into room 10 vanished when he saw me. He comes by on his rounds some nights and we talk. I asked him to reach out to some of our mutual acquaintances to contact you, and now here you are. As Bruce stops walking away and starts to turn back around. And Joker says, anyway, I think that's how it happened. It's hard to tell sometimes. And Bruce, with an angry look on his face, says, is that the gag, Joker? You can't remember all the horrible things you've done anymore? That monster was someone else from some other life? But Joker looks right at Batman and says, on the contrary, Batman, I remember, as the device on top of his head starts to glow red. And then we get this humongous full-page spread of the entirety of Joker and Batman's history together. I have to say, this is one of the coolest single-page spreads I have ever seen in my life. It does such a great job of really encapsulating how long Batman and Joker have been doing this dance together, but also capturing all of the evil, horrible things that Joker has done to Bruce and to everybody else in the city of Gotham throughout his entire life. I cannot praise this whole drawing enough. Jorge Jimenez, you did such a great job with this. But Joker continues and says, I remember everything. He says, I can't tell them apart. Memories and dreams, and all my dreams are nightmares. I can't explain what gifts Dr. Zeller and her remarkable device have been, what it feels like to have some sort of clarity of thought after all those years. Adrift on a relentlessly churning sea. She named it after the ocean of storms on the moon. Did she tell you that? Perhaps this is her story to tell. She's a remarkable person, Batman. I hope you get to know her. He continues and says, I know it was me. I know what I've done, what I am. I am monstrous and cruel and violent, and I am thankful to be contained. But Bruce kind of just looks down and sighs and says, the devil's back in his hole, the opening gambit at last, right? That's the play. Joker says, I beg your pardon. And Bruce says, you're all done with games and plans and traps now that Dr. Zeller's miracle device has shown you the way. And since your treatment has been so successful, why not take the needles out of your spine? Maybe get the tubes out of you, let you walk around a little bit? Come on, he's wasting my time. Clear a path to the door for me now, he says to Dr. Zeller. But Joker says, you must never allow me to leave this container under any circumstances, even if I convince her. I know you will never be fooled. I asked to see you for 2 reasons. The second reason is a secret. Batman says, great, love secrets. What's the first? And Joker says, this may be empathy. I'm unsure. I think you're lonely. I think you need a friend. And Bruce says, do I now? And the device on Joker's head whirs even more. And he says, I know I do. My ceaseless compulsions, monomania, megalomania, the obsessive drive to control and manipulate every detail of every day. It was exhausting. You were the only one that saw the effort. You're the only one that ever understood. Maybe I was the only one that ever understood you too. And I mean, come on, if we're being honest, I think Joker might kind of be right here. But he continues and says, do you know what I remember feeling most of all before I came to reside here? My constant companion through all the killing and planning and torture and mayhem and rage? Lonely, Batman. Endlessly, ceaselessly lonely. But Batman says, I'm alone, Joker, not lonely. 2 different things. I can tell the difference. And Joker says, yes, of course. I used to tell myself the same thing. Now, Dr. Zeller has been listening to this entire conversation, and I think that she has heard enough. So she gets on the mic and says, all right, gentlemen, we should end our time together here. I'm activating the egress path now, Batman. Mind your, cape. It looks like it gets pretty swooshy and the spatial monitors are unforgiving. But before Bruce can walk away, Joker says, Dr. Zeller, a favor. She says, I'm listening, and Joker says, I really did have 2 reasons for wishing to speak with him today, and I can tell him the secret one, but I can't tell you. And she says, that's I'm your therapist, unless you're going to harm anyone or yourself or... And Joker says, yes, doctor, I understand. Doctor-patient confidentiality. This is more a matter of the kind of confidentiality that exists between, well, whatever it is that he and I are. Dr. Zeller says, why do I feel like I'm being manipulated, patient 10? And Joker says, because I'm trying to manipulate you into giving me something I want, of course. You don't have to stop watching, but I need you to promise to stop listening, only for a moment. And initially, Dr. Zeller hesitates to press the button, but she gives in and says, 30 seconds. Don't stutter. Dr. Zeller watches through the glass and she sees Bruce's mouth moving, but she can't hear him anymore. And Bruce taps an imaginary watch and says, tick-tock. And Joker says, you were correct, of course. I hear all kinds of things from all of Gotham's darkest places. I couldn't ignore them if I tried. And I've heard something dangerous is in the offing. And Bruce says, and? And Joker says, I cannot ascertain anything more than the faintest hint of its existence, but it remains beyond my reach. That alone makes it interesting to me. Bruce says something dangerous is happening in Gotham City. Great tip, patient 10. Good night. But Joker says someone's coming to kill you. I don't know who and I can't stop it. Bruce starts to walk away and he says, I'm Batman. People try to kill me all the time. You've discovered it's Tuesday. But Joker says, no, you don't understand. Someone's coming to kill you, Bruce. And this is a crazy reveal because even through all of this treatment that Joker is going through, he still remembers who Batman is. He still knows Batman's real identity. And clearly, Bruce did not expect him to say this at all. Anyways, guys, that brings us to the end of the issue. Let me know what you guys think. This is a pretty interesting dynamic, a pretty interesting conversation between Batman and the Joker. And I'm not gonna lie, having a Joker that's a lot more calm and aware of the harm that he's able to commit, aware of the fact that he is a very, very dangerous individual, it's kind of unsettling. And honestly, it's kind of scarier than what Joker is just normally like. A Joker that's a little more cold, a little more calculating, instead of the loud, funny, and chaotic Joker that we're used to. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, Joker's not gonna stay like this, okay? This is comic books. He's always gonna be reverted back to the Joker that we all know. But this is a pretty interesting direction for Matt Fraction to take the Joker's character arc in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you enjoy comic book content like this, I post new comic book videos every single week. So feel free to support the channel and like and subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video.